Hey, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Jen, and this is the Megaphone Podcast.
And today we're going to talk about how you should be better.
Ew.
Wait,
No. Be better?
You have to be better. But you have to be better than you are.
Yikes, this is going to be rough.
I know. There's the story. This is not what we're talking about. We're making the opposite point that we're making right now.
Yes, to stop being better.
Don't be better.
Do the exact
be worse.
opposite.
Not be worse. Here's the deal. I am in this business coaching class thing, intensive, and they said figure out who like your potential competition is or whatever. Do some research and
who's in the same space.
Yeah. What are they doing well? What are they not doing well? How are you different? So I'm doing all this research, and I come across this woman. God bless her.
Mm-hmm.
That covers me, right?
Yeah, I think so.
For what I'm about
with
to say.
The little accent, I think it really brings it home.
God bless her. Bless her.
This is called market research, right?
Yes, it's market research. Market research. And so I said market research to this lady, and the top of her website said, do you want to be a better wife, a better mom, and a better Christian? And I was like, ew. I'm like, no. And I think I wrote down on my form, I'm like, ew, I don't want to feel like I have to be better. And so my initial thought was like, why are we told that all the time? And why can't I just be me?
Yeah.
Like, I think she means well, like I said, bless her. But I think is starting from, you need to be better. I get what she's trying to say and do, but we need to start with being ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we can grow through that.
Yeah.
It's not like we're saying, don't be better, be worse. Don't move at all. Stay stagnant. It's not that. It's like, but I don't want to keep being told all the time, do you want to be better? Well, here, $49.99 a month, and you could be better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can
I feel like the synonym that I'm thinking of for be better is improve. Improve.
Yes.
Improve your motherhood. Improve your Christianity. Improve your wifery.
We're whiffery.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, so yeah, it's not that we're anti-improvement, but there's something about that term. And I just want to clarify. Sometimes we joke about ew, people, be better.
Be better.
Just be better. Don't cut me off in traffic. Be better. And that's a joke and a funny phrase. So I'm not talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about, and you're dead serious of do you want to be a better this and a better this? I feel anxiety rising up in me, and it feels similar to that strive word. Strive to be better, strive to do this, and it's climbing this ladder, and it's mustering up all you can to take on the world. And I'm just I picture very bad things. I'm piling more and more on my shoulders and my back, and everyone climb on. I'm gonna be the better this and the better that. And yikes. And I'm like, no, that's not making me feel good things. And we were on a run when you were telling me, hey, I did this research. This is what I found. It was really helpful to see what's out there. But it had this cringy, adverse reaction in you. And so we were talking about it, and we were running. And I remember saying it's almost like you could say in your own branding, use that as, if you're so anti that, to say, are you sick of being told that you need to be better?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how this came to be,
that's
right?
Exactly how it came to be.
It's
like permission to be you, permission to stop listening to the people who are trying to tell you just to be better.
That you need to be better.
Be better.
What? And seriously, in what circumstance would we receive that and go, oh, you're right, I have peace about what you just said to me with the finger wagging in my face. You need to be better.
Right. Even asking the question assumes a yes.
Right.
Because who would ever say, no, I don't want to be better.
Right.
You wouldn't say that. We're trained to go, no, I need to be better.
You're probably right. Let me muster up everything inside of me to try to take this on in my own might. It's angsty. Yes. And it's very by your own doing.
Yes. Yes. And it is that striving word that makes us all like cringy because you're picturing piling on your back, and I'm picturing the piling and like the 800-pound sacks that I'm carrying, and then now sprint. And
Oh my gosh.
Help! And I'm like losing my mind, which I'm like, it's gone half the days anyway.
No.
I don't have any capacity to be better.
Right. Okay, because you're running, it makes me think of working out, which I feel like is a good segue. I was on the couch trying to relax one weeknight. We put the kids to bed, kitchen's cleaned up. Let's just watch a show. And that's like a treat. We don't get to do it that often, but it was like, okay, let's do this. So my husband and I sit down, we're watching a show.
What show?
I'd rather not say. It might have a red rose in it though. The Bachelor.
So this was a Monday night.
It's so entertaining. Oh no. Anytime. We record that baby.
Oh,
DVR it.
but you don't skip
pull it
the
up.
commercials?
So sometimes someone has a potty break. You need to get
Got
up and
it.
refresh your beverage, whatever. So it's like, I don't have the remote next to me, and this commercial starts playing for a super cool thing that's out there, like intensive at-home workout opportunity with like this virtual coach. It wasn't a Peloton, but it was like virtual coach who's like has like green screen, like they're running on the beach and they're like, let's go. And you're like, but all the B-roll, like all the video moments of this commercial were so well done, and we're so like, I could see the sweat, and they're working hard and they're like getting after it. And all of a sudden I'm like, I need to work out. I need to work out right now. Like, I honestly, unfiltered thought was like, I need to turn this off and go work out and like run. I need to sweat like that. I need to look like that right now. What?
Whoa.
As I'm like under a blankie watching Matt the Bachelor.
Well, it doesn't help that all the women are like,
and
you
he's
have to be like 100 pounds or less to even be on the show.
They're like, we're gonna get in a hot tub. I'm like, she's probably not prepared for this. Don't do this to her. And then it's like, I'm like,
these voluptuous breasts.
Me too.
Do you like my six-pack?
Are you flexing? How do you do that normally? Like,
Are you even breathing? Or are you just sucking in?
Like, my stomach hurts sometimes later in the day, and I'm like, why is this? Did I eat something? I'm like, no, I've been sucking in all day, or my jeans are digging into me that it's uncomfortable. Anyways.
So while you're on the couch in a moment where you shouldn't even worry about, you're totally relaxed and at peace. Now, all of a sudden, you're like, I gotta go work out.
And you made a really good point about the program that we're watching, because it's true. That's reinforced the entire time of like, oh, look at the cutouts of her dress. Look at that swimsuit. Look at him. Like, they're all an exception to the rule.
That's right.
How many of you have had children? So it's like, my body is not going to look the same as your little post-college body, your little young 20 body. Okay? So it's true. It was reinforced.
It's so true.
And I'm like, I need to work out right now. And it was very angsty, and it was not a calm, let me call you to this better self, this best you.
Yeah.
It was like a gun to the back of my head.
Yes. Well, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to look the way that they look. Like,
Right.
if you compare yourself to them and go, wow, they work really hard for that.
Yes.
I could work really
could do
hard
that.
for that too, because I think that there's health in that for me. Great.
For my own motivations though.
Right.
Not because
you want to look like them and be them and all like.
And this commercial is telling me I need to do this right
crazy.
now. What?
Ew.
Effective marketing is great, but yikes.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of pressure. I think that's the point.
Yeah.
All around
Yeah.
to be better.
All the angles.
We're either told, do you want to be better? Or we feel it.
Yeah.
Like
when you see other people and all of a sudden you're like, they're better.
Yeah.
They're better than me. Like we do it to ourselves.
Oh, yes. Stop.
Social media,
Talking to myself.
advertisements. It's
everywhere.
Conversations.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And so this is where we are going to tell you what to do about it.
Yeah. With 3 P's.
We have 3 P's. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
And number 1 is position.
Mm-hmm.
What's your position? Like, do you feel like you're behind?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something we've been talking about that a lot too in our, like the business coaching thing I was telling you about. Like, oh, it's like weekly trainings and whatever. Like, I feel like I'm so behind. Like, behind what? Like,
Who?
behind the self-paced, like, nature of this course?
That's
like,
your unique journey?
behind, right. Like, no. And she makes the point, I'm from Kansas in a small town and you're only behind if you're behind a tractor.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's right. As a farm girl myself, I can
Yeah.
relate to that, how annoying to be behind a tractor sometimes. But are you behind? Like,
And who says?
Yes, and who says? And if you're the one who says, then you're wrong. You're not behind. You're right where you're supposed to be. Chill.
You know what I just thought of? There's also danger in feeling like, I'm ahead. You guys all need to get on my level because I am better and you need to be better. Like, are you in the opposite of what we're feeling and talking about? And it goes back to the whole, like, don't puff up, don't shrink back, stand your holy ground. Like, don't pull forward and rub it in everyone else's faces. What is your motivation for making that cute Instagram post? Like, what are you trying to put out there? Because we want to stop this culture of striving and the pressure and the comparison of betterness.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so true.
Don't do either extreme. Like, run your own race.
Right.
The position is like in your most healthy spot. You're just running your own race. Like you said, self-paced.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes. It takes the pressure off of like, it's kind of like when you're, I don't know, and most people, if you ever run a half marathon or even a 5K or whatever, like, you're not running to win.
No.
Okay. You're running to complete the race
in a healthy way. So you don't kill yourself. Don't run too fast. And now, I've exhausted all my energy and I passed out.
Yep.
Or I'm last and didn't even try. There's some, yeah. Find the happy medium. Like, run where you're comfortable so that you get in your own rhythm and groove. What's your word for the year, Lisa?
Oh, yeah. My word for the year is cadence.
This sounds appropriate.
And it's right behind your head. It says beautiful cadence.
Beautiful cadence.
And it is a beautiful cadence of just running at the pace. So I want to hit this because our next keyword is pace.
Yeah.
Okay. Spoiler alert. But I want to hit this this scripture. And did you have some scripture too?
Sure, I'll sprinkle it in here and there.
Taste flavoring. So mine is, I love this and also hate this. It was like a gut check for me to go, I do this. But it's 2 Corinthians 10, 12 through 13. This is the Passion Translation. You'll get to know me and know I love all the translations of the Bible. And I get very excited. TPT. So he's talking about comparing yourselves to other people. And they say the Bible's outdated.
Talk about the position in this race.
We don't do that. We wouldn't dare put ourselves in the same class or compare ourselves to those who rate themselves so highly. They compare themselves, me, you, we all do this. We compare ourselves to one another and make up our own standards to measure themselves by. And then they judge themselves by their own standards. Like, have you ever, and that's what you're doing when you're not happy with your position. It's like, well, I should be over here. So I'm going to measure this and I'm failing, or I'm way ahead. Look at those losers. And like, but you're making up those standards.
Right.
That, and he says, what self-delusion? And I was like,
does it mean we're like prescribing our own standards onto other people too? Even though they have their own set of standards?
Naturally, I think we do that. Yes. Yeah. So it's just as dangerous to make everybody else live within your standard, i.e. run your race, live your life.
Yeah.
And it's just as dangerous to look at somebody else and go, oh, who are they? Like, how do they, who they don't get to measure everyone else
by their own
standard. They're making this up as they go along.
Yeah. We talked about in the BU podcast, like how to figure out who you are. So I'm like, okay, if you did that, now you know who you are, you know how uniquely you're created and wired. Like, we went first to show you how different we are. So how crazy would it be if I were like, where are your 10 lists for the day, Lisa? It'd be like, whoa, no, that's your thing.
Right.
Don't put that on me. Or if you were like, how many times have you cried this week, Jen? Or hug someone, okay? I'd be like,
as many times as you made me hug you,
Lisa. Is that a problem? Well, that one time you went in for it and I kind of, that would not be equal. It's apple and oranges.
No, it doesn't make sense.
So I feel like
Right.
Don't do that.
Right. We compare our worst to somebody else's best.
Totally.
We compare, this is a big one too, I've heard. We compare someone else's middle to our beginning. Like, I'm just starting this. Like, you go to the gym for the first time and you look around at all the people who have been doing the work for a decade.
Who were probably cast in that workout commercial.
No kidding.
Here they are.
But here they're doing the work.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I could never be like them. Oh, I don't look like them. You're like, no, you don't look like this.
This is day one.
Day one. And you're comparing their day 1,000.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
But we do it all the time and it's so natural.
And okay, you said something about comparing our own self to a different version of ourselves.
Yes.
I love the way you say that.
Yes. It is so often, I think, we compare ourselves to the version of ourselves that we think we should have been already.
Okay, that hits me to my core.
I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. So often we compare ourselves to the version of ourselves that we think we should have been already. That person does not exist. That person will never exist. Okay? That's the thing.
Yeah.
That person will never exist.
And I just feel like what you have is the opportunity of now.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do right now to be your best self?
Right.
Like, stop beating yourself up about, well, I should be this and I should be there again. We talk about should being this shame word. And I'm like, is that helping you get to where you actually want to be?
No. It's hindering you. It's getting in the way.
Yeah.
Throw it off.
I just pictured this race. Like, literally, we talked about the position. Like, I picture, okay, 7th and 8th grade track. Thank you very much. We're in the 2x1. Got hit in the head with a metal baton and a 4x1. Sorry, it's the 200 meter and the 4x1. and I'm just picturing like the spikes and the track and the sunny day, and you're running. And it was a race, so but it's like position, like run your own race, the freedom in that. If you stopped worrying about who's ahead of you and stopped gloating about who's behind you,
right?
You just run your own race and what feels good and what natural, that beautiful cadence.
Yes.
And you get in the rhythm and the groove, and all of a sudden your breathing regulates.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're past the on-ramp, and when you're running, you hit a good stride.
Yeah.
And it's like, hit your stride. So position and then pace. We talked about how like the devil drives you. Like, do you feel this anxiety the first thing out of the morning, or like to get out of bed, that you feel like you have a gun to the back of your head? Like, turn left, go right, go straight, hurry, speed, faster. There are no cops around. Whoa.
That's me every time.
There are no cops. Like, who's that on the side street? Oh, it's just a parked car. Keep going.
Kids aren't going to drive themselves to school. And you can get them there 30 seconds faster. If you wind yourself up in your crazy head.
The ETA of the maps, you're like, I can beat that 2 minutes. No problem.
I'm gonna shave 10 minutes off that bad boy.
Whoa. Why? Sometimes I'm driving so fast, like a bat out of hell. And I'm like, time out. Where are you going? And it's like, home. Do you have anything you need to do urgently? Right. No.
Is it on fire and you're the only one with the hose?
No. Is this worth getting a speeding ticket over? Oh, no. And then I usually slow down. Like,
I don't want to write you a $200 check so I can be 3 minutes earlier to my house
where no one's waiting for me.
Right. And there's
what?
You're going to get inside and go, I'm going to scroll my phone for 5 minutes.
Like, time to spare. You made it here in record time.
It is. It's so true.
But
We
it's
do
like,
that to ourselves.
The anxiety.
Yes.
Go, 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 go.
And the pace.
That's the devil.
And that's the devil.
Because what does God do?
Right. God calls you. Come here. Hey, come here. Let's walk.
Do you want to join me? My way is like super easy. My burden's light.
Yes.
Can you like sharing this with me?
Yeah. Hey, let's walk. Let's walk together. Hey, all right. You ready to run? We're going to run for a little bit.
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. I'm right here side by side with you and calling you with me.
Oh, you fell?
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to carry you for a little bit.
Yeah.
And when you're ready, I'll set you back down. We could be arm in arm. We could be hand in hand. We could be arm around necks.
But there's such a difference if you can feel the different pacing. And I do this all the time. I have to catch myself, especially as I'm learning this word cadence of going, I feel so like I can feel it in my chest, like so wound up. that I need to be doing all of these things. And I make the list, and my lists are 4 pages, and then I'm texting all the people, look at my long list. Or you could just be doing number one, you could just be doing the things on the list. But number two, like, this doesn't all have to be done right now.
No.
Like, what? This is completely unrealistic. Like a few weeks ago, I was feeling that way, very angsty, like, so like, you have to go now. And I'm like, I need to be creating things. And I'm like, and once I stopped and realized, okay, this is the devil driving me.
Yeah.
God is not calling me out into this gentle space.
Gently.
Guess what God has done? He's already giving me things that I still haven't done yet.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, don't give me any more. So I'm like praying, God, give me some more open doors. And I'm like, I haven't walked through, I haven't created for and prepared and stepped into the doors that I have open right now.
It's like, so last time I checked, you have 10 on your plate right
Yeah.
now. You want more?
You want more?
Oh, you want more.
Oh, got it.
Do you want to go walk through the ones I already gave you?
I'm like, oh yeah. And then I'm like, I changed my mind. Like, never mind, just stop now. We can rewind the prayer. Just pause. And so then I'm like, it takes everything within me to go, you need to chill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, chill.
Yeah.
And in the middle of this day, like this season, I blocked off an entire day to not get on my phone or computer. And I watched the entire season 2 of Virgin River. Okay. Which I realized we talked about, was it last week's podcast or the week before that? And I said, check with me on social media, you guys, if I don't do this, because I was in that season when we recorded that was in the season of me going, I gotta do everything. And it's like, no, you don't. You know what you need to do? You need to chill out on your couch.
You need to stop and rest.
And I did, and I vegged. And it, even for a moment, was like, oh, you know what I need to do instead? I need to spend all day with the Lord. And I felt like I was going to feel guilty if I didn't like sit there and read my Bible all day. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No, veg out. It's
Yeah.
fine. So anyway, that's the pace.
Yes.
It's the devil that drives you. It's God that calls you.
Yeah.
And when you start getting to know the difference between the voices, and the feelings that they like provoke within you, that's a game changer.
Yeah. I wrote down, run the race at God's pace.
Look at you go.
You know, I just think of this track and I'm like, okay, we talked about position. We're talking about pace. Like, well, whose pace? My pace? The devil's pace? No, God's pace. Because it's so chill and freeing and peaceful. And that's our third P is peace. So position, pace, peace. Because we talked about celebration over comparison. Like, again, with my running thing, like, what if, I know the track meet is a little bit of an exception, but it's like, but in that visual for me, like, oh, Megan, you got first place. Way to go. High five.
Yes,
like,
good
you
job.
did it. I got 17th place. And I'm happy with that. Like, yay. And then she high fives me. Like, we're teaching my 6-year-old sportsmanship. Like, can we celebrate? One, celebrate yourself and where you are and your position in this race and the pace in which you just accomplished whatever you're going through.
Yep.
Have peace for yourself, celebrate that. And 2, celebrate others. Like, how many times do we see something on social media? We're like, oh, well, that's just because you got your stimulus check. Oh, that's just and we're like tearing people down and filling in gaps and making assumptions and like not building them up, not being happy for them. Like, we've got friends who are doing financially really well right now. And Jacob and I both said, like, we're genuinely happy for them because we're solid in our relationship with them. We're not envious of this couple. We're not going, why isn't that us?
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to do that. And sometimes we struggle with that.
Yes.
Like, sure would be nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, it would.
It
But
would
you
be
know
nice.
what? We love those people. And I'm so genuinely happy that God has blessed them in this way. Like,
Yes.
I'm like, what a good thing. Can we all do that? Celebrate each other instead of tearing each other down and comparing and being negative?
No, we can't.
Apparently. I want peace.
I know. And because as you're saying that, I'm like, because it takes so much extra energy that we don't need to use at all
Yeah.
to tear other people down and pick apart everyone else's success. And we do that when we're unhappy with our pace, when we're unhappy with our position.
Yes.
But there's part of it where, and I have struggled with this a lot. And it's part of this like scarcity mindset thing. Like, if you're beautiful, that somehow takes away my beauty.
I can't be beautiful.
I can't be beautiful if you're beautiful.
We can't both be.
Right. I can't be a successful speaker if so-and-so is a successful speaker.
Yeah. I did that once with you.
What?
Someone was like, "You're such a good storyteller." And I was like, "No, that's Lisa." No, Lisa's the storyteller. Don't call me. I'm not a storyteller.
That's her identity
Isn't
statement.
it so funny?
Yes.
And I'm like, but I had a very sharp reaction because I'm like, that's your word. Like,
Right.
I can't be that too. And I'm like, unless I could in my own way.
Well, right.
A little bit.
And yes, you are.
It's a
And
lot.
all the way you're a storyteller. You're great at telling stories.
But isn't that funny? I'm
Yes.
like, but I can't be because you are.
I
It's
know.
like there's only one.
Right. Yes. And I think it's very common among women
Yeah.
that like if we're all in a group setting and someone gives you a compliment, I'm like, excuse me.
Oh, then I'm not that?
Oh.
I did that too.
Oh, you don't like my dress? Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, your hair's ugly. So
Yeah.
how about that?
Ah.
So then we reciprocate.
Right.
When they didn't even say anything bad to
Right.
us.
And they probably thought, I like your dress too. And who cares if they do or don't?
Look at those lashes. Oh, to die for.
Thank you. I will resume that. I work on them. That's why. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
But we do it and we're just so like, there's not room at the top. If I get to the top, it's only me. It's a
Yeah.
one person show at the top. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
You know, if you got to the top and you were the only one up there, one, your own top, and two, you'd be so lonely.
All alone.
We don't want that.
No.
You don't want to drive everybody else away with your competition. Like,
Oh,
you are not in competition.
that's a quote. Let's put that in Canva or something.
We're going to put that in Canva. You're going to find that on social media.
Okay.
You don't need to, like, we do this. We drive other people away
By our competition.
with our competition, which comes from our own insecurity. And our insecurity comes from, like, let's chase it all the way down, right?
Yeah.
Our insecurity comes from not knowing our identity and who we are and not coming from a place of rest and peace and like genuine, like, I am chosen. I am because God says so, not
Yeah.
because anybody else says so.
Because he made me to run my own race.
Right. Yeah.
At
He has things
his
for you
pace.
to do. Like, I don't want to do what's on your plate.
No, you don't.
Also, I would suck at it. Like,
The
suck at
different
it.
wiring and gifting.
Right.
Vice versa. Same.
And it goes back to be you.
Yes.
And if one of the things you need to break through,
Oh.
okay, here we go, is this comparison, anxiety, jealousy, gift, envy, whatever it is, break through it, figure it out.
Yeah.
Stop.
I have two thoughts.
Stop doing that, please.
One, I feel like there's a little bit of lie and truth going on because as you were talking about drill that down, like the why, it's identity. I feel like the root is also a lie. The position that you feel like you need to be in, that's most likely you're believing a lie. That
Yeah.
I'm behind, I'm a failure, I'm not as good as. That's a lie. And the pace, I need to speed when nothing's waiting for me and I actually don't need to.
Right.
And this whole like I can't find peace because I have to compare and whatever. Like those are lies. They're all rooted in lies. And we're here to tell you the truth that it's not about your position. We want you to run your own race and we want you to run it at God's pace. And we want that to give you peace and freedom. And the second thing I thought of is the unproductivity of like, I'm an efficiency master.
You are.
Okay.
Oh,
So as you were,
it's almost annoying.
oh my gosh, not perfect, but I do love me some efficiency.
Yes, you do.
But as you were talking about like the comparison and tearing people down and driving people away, I'm like, and so not only is it super negative and isolating, but it's unproductive, right? Like, what are you hoping to achieve? Because if relationships are important to you, you forget that.
Right.
Why? Those people could be like these good, like, unintentional, I'm not doing anything to harm you, good, loving people are just living their lives and you're attacking them with your thoughts going, you don't deserve that. I deserve that. I mean, You're doing your own comparison game to tear them down in your head. So now you feel poorly about them and they're going, hey, you want a hug? You're like, no, get out of here.
How dare you?
In your nice house with your nice car. What? I just want to like love you.
Do you want a cookie?
No. What's wrong with you? You think you're better than me, don't you? What?
Right.
So it's like, it's so unproductive.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Ugh.
All of that.
Okay, great.
Let's let that just sink in and rest for a second. Do you have anything else before we close?
I think yes.
Okay. Hit us with it.
Okay. To just seal the deal on what we're saying.
Seal it.
Proverbs 14:30 says, a tranquil heart gives life to the flesh, but envy makes the bones rot. I feel like, yeah,
That's so true.
comparison, this envy, this jealousy is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a little exclamation mark on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to end with the idea that like, we're not saying self-improvement is bad. We're not saying like, if you suck, like, oh, great, I don't have to be better. Well, time out. We're not saying you don't have to put in some work.
Yeah.
But the difference when I hear like, be better, between like, hey, show up as your best self is way different. And
Way different.
I know I did the tone for dramatic effect, but I'm like, no, as I read it, as I see it, as I hear it and receive it, I'm like, one is striving and one is thriving. Like, you're going to thrive when you're your best, healthy, just you self.
Right.
But when you're striving, I just have to be better. What are you working on? Being better?
Ah,
How about you?
instantly sweaty.
Yes, gross.
Right.
So we're not saying just stay stuck where you are and
No.
don't improve in any way.
That's the exact opposite point of the podcast.
Yeah.
Be you, break through, which takes some work.
Yeah.
Like discovering who you are takes work. Breaking through all the stuff takes continual
Yes.
lifelong work.
Yes.
And then belonging also takes the work.
Yeah.
And now we have another B.
Yeah. And it's because our heart is, we want you to be your best self. We
Yeah.
want you to just be happy and healthy and have peace and walking in freedom.
Right. Because the world needs you. Okay.
Yes.
You're very important, essential, beautiful, wonderful, and everything. And now, Jen, give them the permission slip.
Okay. Today, remember that you have permission to stop striving to be better and show up as your best.